this is Reverend Don Lewis, and welcome to another episode of Living the Wiccan Life. In this episode, we're very pleased to bring you our interview with the great entertainer Wendy Rule. This interview was conducted by our guest reporter, Reverend Terry Power, at the Correllian Lustration in April of this year, hosted by Sacred Fire Temple in Arlington, Texas. I'm sure you'll enjoy the interview.
We're sitting here at the end of the lustration weekend with Wendy Rule, our honorary lady.
Yes, I'm thrilled and honorary high priestess. Isn't that lovely?
Well, we're honored to have you with us.
Thank you.
Wanted to thank you. And how did you feel about the weekend? What were your thoughts? How did you enjoy the time you spent with us?
I loved it. It was I thought there was a really relaxed atmosphere. Everyone was super friendly. Both Tim and I were totally welcomed, and I felt that there was a real sense of sharing and a very strong sense of community. Yeah.
Well, community is one of the things that we work very hard on.
Yeah.
What are your influences? You mentioned jazz singers the other night.
Yeah, I mean that's how that's going way back in terms of my early training, but I love artists who really express really deeply from their their emotions, and I like things that touch into the underworld as well. So I love like Nick Cave, and I love Björk. She's a real fairy. I think she's a really spiritual person, amazing performer. People like Leonard Cohen, very influential, and people like the Doors, Jim Morrison, and his interweaving of shamanism, and that's been hugely influential. Yeah.
Now, I noticed that you do sing a lot about stories.
Yeah, that's right.
How many? I know some of them are stories about fairy tales, legends, but it seems like a lot of them are somewhat autobiographical.
Oh yeah, it's definitely. I love mythology, and I think that mythology is a great way for making our personal stories have relevance to a much greater audience. So I'll sing about love, and rather than saying, hey, this is, say like my song Guided by Venus, well, I'll put it within that cauldron of a reference to Venus, and other people can then go, oh yeah, I get that, rather than it just being my story, it then becomes a universal thing. But I do love mythology, especially love the mythology of the Greeks, and I've always loved fairy tale. Yeah.
Well, I know that there are two songs that really moved me.
Yeah.
One of them, you know which one it is.
Yeah, that's right.
The fairy dance.
Yeah, the Dance of the Wild Fairies. Yeah.
It felt like you were really there.
Oh, that's great.
Is that one of the autobiographical stories? Did you have an experience like that with the fairies?
I kind of feel like I always do. Especially when I'm in nature, I just feel totally carried away by that energy, the energy of nature, and. There's been plenty of times when I felt like I've been carried away by the fairies. So it does have an autobiographical.
And I also like the story where you sung about the queen.
Oh yeah. Well, that's a beautiful story, and his connection with the fairy woman found. That love story. That's one of the ones that touches upon an autobiographical theme of my own. But I didn't. Yeah. There's also a way that I can dive really deeply and honestly into my emotions without telling everything that's going on. If I put everything in a mythological framework, it's a terrific story, and definitely that song's from many years ago. That story was extremely relevant at one point in my life.
What are some of your plans for the future? Albums?
I've got some good things coming up actually. I've got two collaborative projects. One is I've been working on for a couple of years with my friend Lisa Goodrich, and it'll be an album that will be released next year. We'll be recording it over summer, and it's an album of ritual music, all based on the story of Persephone. So it moves from, she's a percussionist, she plays drums and vibraphone and all that. So we've been developing this, and for the past few years, all the songs are written, it's ready to go. So I take on the roles of Persephone and Demeter and Hecate, and we interweave the story that way, and then eventually our aim is for it to become a theatrical presentation. So I've got that on the go, and then what I'm most excited about at the moment is we met my boyfriend Timothy, and there's a project that he and I are developing, which is a band called Don't Be Scared, and we explore the world of dark fairy tales. So yeah, we're writing a lot of songs for that at the moment, and it will be an extremely theatrical, playful and yet deep ritualistic project. So we've got a couple of other members joining us for that, and that's it's going to be great. Yeah, next year we'll be doing that.
Okay, and then you'll be sending out information regularly to the readers of your mailing list.
Yeah, my mailing list is the best way to stay in touch. You just go to wendyrule.com, and there's a link on the bottom of every page, and you can sign up there. And there's Facebook and everything, but there's like 5,000 friends on my Facebook list. I just can't keep track. It's and I can't add any more, you know.
Right.
So I much prefer a good old-fashioned email list.
There we go.
Yeah, where at least there's a sense that this message is going directly to these people, and people can write back to me, and I like that much more. And I also keep a blog at Blogspot, so yeah.
So where are you headed next?
Okay, so I head over to Pennsylvania for the Spoutwood Fairy Festival over the Beltane weekend. And that's in, I think it's called Glenrock, Pennsylvania. Beautiful fairy festival, so pretty. And the following weekend, we go to Colorado for the Beltane Festival, which is an excellent Beltane festival, amazing community. They do an excellent maypole dance. We've been there once before. And then we kind of head down through New Mexico and take a holiday in New Mexico, and then we head over to the West Coast, before doubling back again to the east. It's all on my website.
Okay. And how long are you in the States with us this time?
Almost 4 months. Yeah. It's a long tour, this one. Yeah.
So what, you try to spend the summer, the North American summers here, and the South, and the Northern Hemisphere summers here, and...
Yeah, well, I don't mind a little bit of winter. I like winter, but Melbourne winters get kind of dismal. They don't snow; they just get miserable, you know. But I'm really ready to just see a winter through, you know. Though last year I spent a lot of time in Melbourne in the winter. It's not so much that I want to switch seasons. It's more that the festivals are happening over here at this time, and so it makes sense for me to be doing, when all the festival season is on in Australia, I'm doing it there, and then coming north for the festival season.
So it does kind of correlate to the summers wherever you are.
Yeah, it tends to extend though, like this is kind of spring into summer, and but sometimes I'll do summer into autumn. And I get 2 autumns. This year I get 2 Beltanes. Yeah, that's nice. Last year was 2 Salads. Yeah.
And so what are some of your, we were talking about the mythology,
yeah.
What are some of the other stories where you are pagan or Wiccan?
Yeah.
Do you consider yourself Wiccan? Or?
Very loosely. I consider myself pagan. I call myself a witch. I think I'm really not formalist enough to be calling myself a Wiccan, though I think it can be a very useful term for the general public who might understand that as being a valid religion more so than saying you're a witch. So I'll say, oh, you know, I'm Wiccan, and they'll understand that because there's been enough, there's been a great public relations to let people know that Wicca is a reputable, way of practicing the faith. So sometimes I'll use that in the media and things like that. But in reality, to myself, I wouldn't call myself a Wiccan because I'm just too freeform and wild, and I tend, not to do formalised ritual. Yeah, I enjoy them. I just do illustration. It's lovely. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I do like the way you cast and evoke circle at the beginning and end of your show. So the show itself takes place in sacred space.
Yeah, I like that because I think that's, when you think about ancient Greek theatre, that was always the case. And I like to, I think all performances are a form of ritual, like whether it's a huge rock concert or whatever it is. And I just like to make that overt, that people are entering into this and we're creating it together. That it's not just about me sending out this energy and people receive it. It's a whole loop. It's a cycle that comes back and people are sending me energy, and that's how the gig becomes either a good one or a bad one. But, you know, the ones that, like I loved last night, there was a sense of real cohesion that we were in it together, you know.
And the sing-along version.
Yeah, that's great, yeah.
Because everybody knows your song.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
I think that's the first song of yours I've heard. So.
Oh, great, yeah.
So
it's a fun one to sing along to.
I have two new favorites. That was the first one, and everybody in there knew that song, and the energy was rising with you.
That's good.
So, did you have anything else that you want to tell us about before we let you get on the road to Austin?
Yeah, I've got my gig in Austin tonight. So, no, I think I'll just like to say thank you. Thank you very much, and I'm thrilled to be involved in the Correllian tradition. It's lovely. Yeah.
To have had you, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Terry. Yeah. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Great.
I hope you enjoyed that interview. It was certainly wonderful to have Wendy Rule at the Correllian Lustration. Watch MagickTV in the next couple of days to see video of the 2 concerts that Wendy performed at the Correllian Lustration. They're wonderful videos. I'm sure you'll really enjoy them. And join us again next time for more of Living the Wiccan Life. Until then, may you blessed be.